Full of Taiwanese classics, I'm going to show you why Taipei is one of the best destinations in Asia for sweet, savoury, crispy, and umami street food. I'm Bento Fang, and this is a tour of the best street eats in Taipei. So the area that we're in right now is quite central in terms of like Taipei as a city. So a lot of like hustle and bustle, people on the way to work. So first stop is breakfast, and James and I are here at one of our favorite breakfast joints. It's a classic Taiwanese breakfast place that's not just open for breakfast, but 24 hours a day. We have been here at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
And we live real close. We live like down that street back there.
About 500 meters that way.
About 500 meters that way. And the closest station is just another street.
That way?
That way.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go in, try some classic Taiwanese breakfast places. This by far for me, and speaking on behalf of James here, but is our favorite breakfast place here in Taipei. Let's go. How much is it? $7.80 Australian for that. It's pretty good. All right, so let's eat. So we've just ordered the danbing, which is a classic staple in Taiwanese breakfast. It is wrapped on the outside with a scallion pancake. And the difference here with any other pancake that I've tried is that it's usually nice and chewy, so they do add a bit of starch to that, which is very different. So we've ordered the original, and also you can add different fillings. So James has ordered one with tuna and cheese in there as well. And then I've also added one of my favorites, radish cake, which I didn't realize you could have for breakfast here, but is very common. Usually I have this at dim sum, but this is Hong Kong styled, so it's my favorite type. Cantonese radish cake, a little bits of pork in there, and it's nice and chewy, and also crispy on the outside. And the best way to eat this is with some dipping sauces. So traditionally you have a chili sauce and a soy sauce. So I know for most people soy sauce is very salty and runny. The Taiwanese soy sauce is very different. I'll show you what I mean by that. So it's kind of a nice sticky glaze. It looks almost like oyster sauce. So it does have like a savory element to it as well. A little bit sweet and a little bit salty. And then we also like to have a bit of chili. I'm just gonna give that a try, just to test it out. That is, wow, it's really sweet. Oh wow.
Is it too spicy?
No, it's good. I might just have a little bit. Wakes you up, yeah. Okay, so you can see here there's a variety of drinks for breakfast. So milk tea, black tea, soy milk, which is my favorite, so I'm gonna get that. You can also pick either with sugar or without sugar. So I'm gonna go for some soy milk. All right, I'm gonna get this one. You always need to shake it first. All right. I'm going to try the original first. You've got the pancake on the outside. It's quite thin. And then on the inside there is the layer of egg or omelette that's been cooked in. And then little bits of spring onion for that nice sweet fragrance. Chewy. Chewy on the outside and the egg on the inside. It almost reminds me of like having an omelette but wrapped in a like crepe kind of casing. And then that spring onion comes through quite nicely. For most people at home, when you think of like a crepe or a pancake, it's usually just a flat one layer, but this is actually rolled into itself, so you can have different fillings as well. Okay, this might be a bit unusual for a lot of you at home having tuna at breakfast time, but it's quite common here in Taiwan, and you know, it's like a bit of an extra protein kick. And then cheese in there just to make it a bit more indulgent. Actually, do you know what? It's like almost like a cheese toasty. Like, you know, at home, like where you have like bread and cheese in there, like a tuna melt.
Like, yeah.
It's a danbing melt.
A breakfast panini.
But Taiwanese style. All right, I'm gonna give it a go. A little bit of chili. That's really good. I think it's my favorite out of the two. Just need to wash it down with a bit of soy milk. And look, this is the great thing about Taiwanese breakfast is that it's all about sharing. So you can actually get a little bit of a taste of everything. Okay, I'm gonna try the radish cake. Something I grew up eating, like radish cake is quite nostalgic. I used to have this at dim sum with my family every Sunday. All right, I'm gonna give it a try. What I really love about this one is that the filling is like not as firm or crunchy. It kind of melts in your mouth, which is quite nice. I'll show you what I mean. It's like almost like smooth on the inside. I'll bite into it so you can see. It's like it's really soft. Like some radish cakes out there, they're set and they go really hard and floury, but the batter in this is done just right. So I can also taste some little bits of like dried shrimp in there with the pork, which just adds like extra umami and flavor, which I quite like. So
The shrimp flavor is like quite light though.
it's nice, yeah. It's almost like a savory pudding. It's not like overly radish tasting. I think the radish is in there just to add a bit of sweetness and texture. Love it.
Our food politics is going to be on display. So which one is your favorite out of these two?
I do love dumpling, and it's a classic. It's a staple we always have here for breakfast. But radish cake for me is just something that's so special. It's something I ate growing up. It's something that my Guava and I would have at dim sum with my family. And actually, like I do have a recipe in my book and online for this as well. So yeah, I might keep having some more. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna go for a wander. We are on Dumpling Street, which is not too far from the breakfast place we just had breakfast at, and I am after a snack before we get to lunch. Lots of little vendors, cute little vendors around here. You can see there's even just like a juice one just behind me. It is raining a little bit, but I feel like we can get through this. I'm still hungry.
It's also quite classic Taiwanese.
Classic Taiwanese rain. So there's lots of vendors around. There's also, you can see on the side of the road back here, a lot of bentos, which is quite common in Taiwan for on-the-go kind of lunch, right? Yeah. It's kind of, my senses are like tingling. There's lots happening, but I'm really excited. We're gonna head up there to the pan-fried bun place. Oh, I love this place so much. Okay, this place excites me so much. You can see they're making the buns in the back of the kitchen, fresh, tiny place, so they pump out so much in a day. Lots of different flavors. They're sitting there ready to go. You can see the bottoms are nice and crisp and golden. Maybe one of each. Okay, pork bun, cabbage bun, and garlic chive. Got my translator here with me today. And you can see here they've got exactly the same sauces as breakfast. The chili sauce looks a bit different, maybe not as hot. I might give it a try with one of these buns. So, and this is the fun part, is you can't actually see what's inside them. So it's kind of like a surprise digging in and just getting a different feeling each time. So I might go a little bit of that sweet soy. Okay, a little bit of chili. I'm always a bit cautious with chili, because you never know how hot it's gonna be. I'm gonna bite into it. That is packed with so much flavor. There's something that is just garlic chives, and you can see in there too, mung bean or vermicelli. And what I love about here in Taiwan is that produce is so fresh. So the garlic chives that they've used today just has so much flavor. It's sweet. Got some in my teeth. And the contrast there is what I think sets this apart from other pan-fried buns or bao. Nice, thin, fluffy pastry. It's not too much where it's overpowering, but a generous filling to add heaps of flavor to this. So I'm gonna try another one. What else do we have here? Next surprise. Not sure, it's hot and steamy. It's really hot. Okay, I'm just gonna go for it. Wow. Okay, this is delicious. The pastry has soaked up all of the savory juice from that pork on the inside. The meat is tasty, rich, savory, very juicy as well. It's not dry, which is what you don't want in a bun. Good balance of fluffiness, sweet, savory filling. So next stop is something for lunch. I think I'm gonna stay on this market street. There's lots of small vendors around. I can smell heaps of really nice flavors. We're gonna find something super tasty. Let's go.
Oh man, oh.
So for my next stop, I'm here with my friend Gami for lunch, and we are down here at, what's the name of the place?
Fang.
Okay, Fang Kauya, which essentially is a roast duck eatery. And you can see from the street out there looking in, there's some really nice roast porks, barbecued porks and meats. The thing that stood out the most for me is the roast duck, because I love roast duck so much. And this place is known for that. That is the pick for today. You can see on my plate here, all of the nice roast meats on top of a spoonful of rice, which is a staple. And then some vegetables as well, some cabbage. We've got some Asian greens. I think that looks like choy sum or bok choy. We've got some tofu, bamboo shoots on this side over here, and then some Taiwanese tempura, which I quite like. It's got a nice kind of glutinous, chewy texture. For the meats, we have roast pork. So you can see the top there is like crispy crackling, some nice juicy pork, some barbecued pork here as well, which has taken on that rich red color. That looks like it's going to be quite sweet, which is I'm looking forward to. And then just to top all of that, a generous amount of that spring onion oil, just to add a nice fragrance and extra flavor to the dish. All right,
I'm ready.
You ready to dig in?
Ready to dig in.
Let's get started. Okay, I'm going to go straight in for the duck, I think. They were talking about their process, which they didn't want to share the whole recipe with us because it's top secret. But I think they said there's like a stuffing or flavor on the inside.
Yeah, so they prepare stuffing and get the duck all dried up before they roast it.
And then they roast it for about an hour. And you can see there, they've also drizzled it with like almost like a hoisin kind of oyster sauce dressing. Yeah, sweet soy. Awesome bones. Wow. Okay, that is some really tasty duck. You can see there, I think the flavor comes from that secret filling on the inside, but then also from the skin, it's going into the meat of the duck as well. It's dark, crispy, it's dried out for long enough so that there's not too much fat out there. It's perfectly done. And for the full package, I've also got some roast pork, some char siu pork, so that caramelized, rich red color of that pork there, the barbecued pork. And I also have some barbecued chicken, so chicken drumstick. And lucky me, I have been given my favorite part of the chicken, the leg. So we go straight in for that. Everything is just so rich and flavorful. You can see I like it that much. I've eaten the whole thing. Okay, I'm gonna try the roast pork next. And you can see there are some nice layers of like meat and fat, so it will be really, really juicy. There's like the thin, crispy skin on the outside as well. Really delicious. It's a little extra salty, which I think is perfect for all of those vegetables and the rice there to take it all in as well. And you can see on that rice, it's kind of sucked up all the juices from the roast meat sitting on top. And this is one of my favorites, is Taiwanese tempura. So it's quite chewy and glutinous. It feels like it's been made from a starch, but it has a slight fishy taste to it as well, which is quite nice. The best thing about this dish is that there's a good mix of roast meats, so your protein, heaps of veggies on there too. So the cabbage, bok choy, the bamboo shoots for extra fiber, and then the rice, the carbs to soak that all in. I think this is a really good lunch, and you can see outside as well, it's so busy, a lot of workers coming across, grabbing some bento boxes. It's even served on a paper plate, ready to go. And my favorite part about this dish is the roast duck, which I would come back here for. It's getting very hot, yeah. It's nice, but there is a fan up there. I feel like I'm in like someone's home kitchen back here. The tablecloth, like the plastic tablecloth that gets wiped down afterwards. Yeah. And like all the plastic Tupperware and stuff like that. I mean, we're right in the kitchen as well. We're right here, right in the kitchen where they serve, where they cook, where they chop everything. Maybe we can see the rice in there and just take a... Rice, yeah. Lots of rice. One pot. One pot serves about 50 people.
Yeah.
Which, so then we'll do about 100 people a day. Cool. Yeah. And it's just you three working here, no one else. Wow. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all good. Everything is really good, really tasty. Thank you. Yeah. Wow, I'm really impressed with this operation. I mean, they're cooking, cutting, serving, all the sauces are here and the rice as well, and people are in and out, so this is awesome. Really tasty. This happens so much in Taiwan. Pre-wedding photo shoot right in the middle of this spice merchant kind of street. I love it. Oh, still filming. Okay. So I've just made it down here to Dihua Street in Wanhua District. It's the west side of Taipei, one of the oldest streets that was first developed. So you can see here some really nice architecture, a lot of spice merchants. But what I can smell is some very familiar spices. It's almost like an Asian pantry, very familiar to me back at home. As you can see as well, the weather has just stopped. And what I've learned about Taipei is that this time of the year, the weather is up and down. So you can kind of like go outside, indoors. We're gonna go for a walk down Dihua Street and I'm really excited to try some of the snacks. Now you can see it's a one-stop shop, not just for tourists, but for locals too. There's a temple just here behind me, a fabric market, heaps of spices, which we can obviously smell on the way as well. But I'm not here for the fabric, I'm here for the food. So let's go find some Taiwanese snacks. So let's go up here and see. I remember there being a mochi spot up here, which I think I want to try. Oh, it's like dried longans and lychee. Maybe I'll get some dried mango.
Yeah.
I mean, Taiwan is like mango season. Yeah. This one here, mango.
Mango.
Mango, yeah. Can I have
Taiwan mango.
Taiwan mango? Taiwan mango. I'm gonna try some. Okay, share. Thank you. Wow, I'm excited. I've got mango. So you can see here, I actually don't know what lots of these are. What is this one? Guava. Mango, guava, papaya, all dried tropical fruits. Just feeding me lots of fruit. Okay, so we have some Erwan mango, which is from Tainan, the south of Taiwan. It's not too dried where it's like woody. The inside is like surprisingly juicy for something that's quite dried still, and naturally really sweet. The lady there has said that they are drying this naturally, so no added sugar. It has that nice fresh, ripe mango flavor. Nothing sour or anything in there. That's really tasty. A great snack whilst looking for another snack. Let's go. I think I'm going to cross the street and go over there. I can see some mochi. I feel like some fresh fruit now that I've tried the fresh dried mango. There's a few vendors, so let's go check them out. Oh, this is also very Taiwanese, but I don't feel like that right now. All the braised like tofu, there's like pig blood cake, different meats as well. It's smelling really good, but I actually feel like something sweet. So I can see in the distance some mochi. I think I'm gonna go try some of that.
Okay,
Oh, this one, strawberry. This one here. Small.
对，这个 big。
Big. Oh, maybe should we get the big? I think I should get the big. Da.
Yeah.
Okay. How chuma?
好吃。
Wow, that is very big. Okay, it's heavy. It's quite starchy on the outside, but I can feel that the mochi exterior is not too thick. I feel like it's going to be quite a big strawberry on the inside. Really good. Wow, that strawberry is so juicy, so sweet. Okay, you can see the thin mochi skin on the outside in comparison to the big juicy strawberry on the inside, and a little bit of red bean to give it an extra like richness, earthiness. And the best thing is to go straight in, get your hands dirty. That was really tasty. It's about 100 Taiwanese dollars, which is about 5 Australian dollars for 3 small ones, ranging up to about 150 Taiwanese dollars, which is about 7 Australian dollars for these 2 big bad boys. She's just going to show us the fresh strawberries. Okay, thank you, 谢谢. Okay, I'm feeling like one more snack. I feel like I've got a bit more left in me. I think I'm gonna head down to that street. I can see a lot of people heading down there for some food. Let's go check it out. Okay, look, I've already had lunch, but I'm tempted to get one of these at Rou Fan, which is a classic Taiwanese pork rice. So it's usually braised pork that's chopped up with some preserved greens, served on a bed of steamed rice. And you can see just behind me here, everyone is enjoying them. They're making it fresh right in front of you. There's like spring onions being chopped. I kind of feel like it would be wrong of me to not try some. So let's try it out. Okay, so we've stopped here for Rou Fan, which is a classic Taiwanese braised pork rice. This is a quintessential Taiwanese staple, eaten any time of the day. Very simple. You can see here, the serving is about a handful, and it's about 40 Taiwanese dollars. So just under 2 Australian dollars for this bowl of rice. with braised pork on top. A lot of different variations with different sauces. Different vendors pride themselves on what goes into it. The fattier the pork is, the more flavor there is in there. And there's often little bits of preserved mustard greens in there, so it's just like pickled veggies just to cut through that richness. Okay, let's give it a try. So much flavor in that pork. Do you know what, there's like something so nostalgic about having freshly steamed rice with a really well-cooked protein. It's kind of taken me back to my gourmet's kitchen growing up. Like in Mauritius, we have very similar dishes of braised pork with rice, and there's those rich kind of savory notes coming through, soy, the preserved mustard greens, a little sour to cut through that richness, which I think is like a perfect balance. It's such a comforting meal. It's almost like a big hug, just in a little bowl of like pork and rice right there. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's walk through the spices. So I've just stopped to get this dried fruit mix. It's basically to make sour plum juice, which I often have here in Taiwan at cafes and restaurants, and just wanted to get it so I could recreate it at home. Very classic Taiwanese, waiting by the lights for the countdown, so 55 seconds to go. Oh, there's a bookstore here. It's quite cute. Wow, I just picked these up. I thought they were like fish oil tablets, but they're actually natural peach gelatin. I've honestly never seen these before, and that's what I love about coming around here, is always discovering something new to take back to my kitchen to cook with. This is cool. Decorative. Oh yeah, you can't eat that. It's decorative. Have you seen this place here, Grand Pang soup? I think I'm just going to move down to this street. Already set up my store for me. Grand Pang soup. Retire here when I'm 60. So I'm feeling recharged, and now I'm on the hunt for some more Taiwanese street food snacks. We're going to head to Dongmen, which is in the southwest of Taipei, for the famous Bing, otherwise known as green onion pancakes. Okay, so we're here at Tianjin Onion Pancake. You can see there's a huge line back there for their famous, how do you say that one in Chinese now? Bing. Bing.
Not
okay.
Cong.
Say that again. Bing.
Yeah.
This Chinese is. And look who we have here, who's trekked all the way across the city to come try this with me.
And it's not my first time that I've trekked across the city to come get this pancake, so I'm very excited to have it again.
All right, let's do it. Let's go. Everyone wants to come, everyone wants to join. So this place is known for their very famous green onion pancakes, flaky on the outside. And what I love about this place is that you can make your green onion pancake into your own. I think I'm gonna get the everything pancake, which has ham, cheese, Taiwanese basil and egg in there, as well as that crispy pancake on the outside. I think why I love this so much is that growing up, like, I would eat a lot of roti or flaky flatbread, but this for me is like an elevated version of that. You can see down here there's the pre-made balls of dough which they've made themselves, and they're pumping out so much that they have a machine that even just flattens the dough for them. So I'm excited to try it. So hectic here. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I think let's go to that park over there to eat. Once again, this is literally where we first ate it. Do you remember we sat on this bench? Should we do some pull-ups while we're here? I really don't think I can do one pull-up right now. I've eaten too much. All right, let's dig in. That's what I got. I got the everything. Taiwanese basil, ham, cheese, and egg. Okay, so I can see that flaky spring onion pastry on the outside, the omelette as well, which has been folded in with some ham, that nice oozing gooey cheese, and bits of Taiwanese basil for a nice kind of aroma to it as well, a freshness. Almost like a roti, which is something I grew up eating. Like my gourmet would often make a roti with just flour, water, and then make it into a flaky kind of flatbread. For James, looks like a mess, no I'm kidding. So corn, cheese, egg, very classic, very typical of you.
It is true.
Look, they do get a bit sloppy and it looks like, but it's super tasty. Good. Oh, and it never gets old. It's so good.
It really reminds me of when I first moved to Taiwan.
It reminds me of my first day in Taiwan.
Did we come here on the first
We
day?
came here on the first day. You took me here.
Oh, that's sweet.
I mean, there's just like a lot going on. One, it's really delicious. That Taiwanese basil is coming through, which is like very different for me. It's very aromatic. The cheese is, I love melted cheese, so it's very like comforting and warm. And that ham is just adds like a savoury, salty kind of.
I feel like the cheese on this one's a bit saltier too.
Is it? The cheese is, okay. And look, I do love this so much. It is something that I would take back home to recreate in the kitchen. If I'm on the go, like you can buy the frozen spring onion pancakes and fill them with different fillings. And often I'll make it with like baked beans and cheese, make like an Aussie version. You could put Vegemite in there. And you can see why they have such a long line. I think they've been open for about 40 years, and this cost about 60 Taiwanese dollars, which in Australia is about $3. A really good bargain for a massive meal in itself. This version for me is like a standout in Taipei, mostly because of the pastry, and that is like the key to this dish. It's so flaky and crisp. There's a long line for good reason, and you can tell they've perfected this recipe. So if you're in Taipei, make sure to come and check this out. They're open from 8 in the morning till 10 at night. Maybe skip out on the lunch or dinner service hours, so come in between around this time where you can quickly get your hands on one of these tasty spring onion pancakes.
Endorse.
So we've just found this bakery here called Omega. It might read as OMG, but it's basically a Taiwanese take on the classic Hong Kong pineapple bun. And what's really cool about this is that they do use fresh butter instead of lard, which is what they use in Hong Kong. So there's lots of different flavors here. You have the OG, original, chocolate, matcha, purple potato, and coffee. I think I'm gonna get the OG. I love the design in here. It's a really fun vibe. I mean, you've got Beyonce playing in the background. Nice, clean, minimalistic. Just focusing on these buns, love it. Okay, thank you. It looks super fluffy. It's really light, like it's quite big and you'd think it'd be quite heavy, but it's quite light, right? And the way to make it is like you're making a milk bun and then you have the crackling on top. So you make a thinner, sugary pastry on top that crackles as it bakes to form this crunchy crust. And then what they've done here is to add in a slab of butter just to make it a bit more fun and rich.
That is rich.
I love the butter's so nice. The combination of salted butter with the sweet, fluffy bread, and then that earthy kind of like crunchy crackling on top of the sweet potato flavor is it's a really nice combo.
A vibe actually.
I know, I like it here. Such a good vibe. Even the music they're playing, the whole aesthetic is like they're obviously having a great time with these buns. How cool is that? Temple procession happening right there. So we've stopped down here at Laiji Oyster Omelette in Datong, which is right next to Ningxia night markets. We've come a little bit early because usually when James and I come here, there is a huge line just down this street.
It's quite a classic place. It's been here for 34 years. A big establishment in Taipei.
And they sell a very traditional Taiwanese street food, which is basically an oyster omelette. And for me, I think I love eating raw oysters, and it's quite rare for me to find a cooked variation that I quite like. But this Taiwanese oyster omelette is one of those that I love a lot. So we're gonna order back here and then eat in the next room over. Shall we get into it? So you can see there, you have the cooked oysters that are speckled throughout the omelette. They also add on that starchy batter, which Taiwanese people love so much to add. The egg is cracked in, and also some lettuce for freshness. I'm not sure if this is spicy, but usually like a sweet tomato-y base kind of gravy on top, just to bring it all together. Okay. There we go. How's that? Wow, that's like so different to like most of them I've had. Usually it can be quite dry or like almost like one-dimensional, but this is quite rich, and I love the glutinous texture. The chewiness is so familiar for me growing up in a Chinese Mauritian family, and to have it in an omelette, an oyster omelette, is quite unusual, but somewhat familiar and really, really delicious. What do you reckon?
I really like it. This side as well, with the lettuce and stuff.
The lettuce, yeah. Yeah, and I think that's the fun part is that you're kind of diving into different parts of the omelette there, and getting different little surprises or tastes.
I think this is the best one I've had.
Yeah, I think this is the best one I've had in Taiwan. It's definitely worth coming down, skipping the queue to have this oyster omelette that is about 90 Taiwanese dollars, which is like 4 to 5 Australian dollars. Another cheap, tasty street eat.
Oh, it's all breaking apart. Okay.
It's so good though, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So we're heading over to Ningxia night markets here in Datong, which is the famous night market here in Taipei for classic Taiwanese street food. Night markets are the destination for street food in Taiwan, and this one is my favorite. It's so busy in here. There's so much food, lots of really nice smells. It's my kind of like foodie heaven. These pancakes are really good, but I feel like a drink for now, so we're gonna keep going. Wow, okay. I've just spotted these guava fruits. They're like huge and super fresh. I think what I love so much about Taiwan is that you can get really fresh tropical fruit here. And I love guava so much that I've included it in my rojak salad in my upcoming cookbook. No, it's okay, okay. Thank you. Oh, 谢谢. Okay. Fresh guava, you can see there, the light green, almost like an apple pear kind of exterior, and a nice crunchy white interior, so give it a go. Really ripe and sweet. It's almost got like an apple taste to it, but not too acidic. So the best part is you don't need to peel it. Tanghulu, otherwise known as candied fruit skewers. Now this is a really popular street food snack. I think it's such a simple one. It looks great from the street when you're looking down at it. I'm gonna go for this one here, which is my favorite, so candied grapes. And with a good Tanghulu, what you should look for is a nice crunchy, thin exterior, and then fresh ripe fruit on the inside. So I'm gonna give that a go. It's so simple, but so good. It's almost like a toffee apple, which is quite hard to eat, but these candied fruit skewers. So simple, but so good. Yeah, we're in luck. This usually has a line like down the street, so, oh, I'm just gonna jump in. This is like a fried taro paste with a salted duck yolk on the inside, as well as some meat floss. It's, okay.
Hello, 70.
70, thank you. Oh my God, they're stretching me out, they're so fast. I've been meaning to try these for so long. One of the most popular street food snacks at this night market. Let me give it a go. Hot. Wow. Look at the inside. Oh, there's a bit of meat floss in there too, which I didn't expect. Adds like a nice kind of like savory, rich, salty element. So it's almost like having a mashed potato bowl that's a little earthy, fried, salty on the inside, and then that rich salted duck egg yolk that comes through just tops it off. I can see why the line is so long. This is really tasty. Check out the egg yolk. I really feel like stinky tofu, but I've just spotted one of my favorite desserts here, which is the peanut ice cream. So it's like a spring roll pastry with peanut brittle on the inside and ice cream, and then there's a bit of fresh coriander in there. It's a really strange combination, but I love it so much. I've even put this recipe in my new cookbook coming out. So this is just a variation of stinky tofu that's braised, but we're gonna head down to my favorite down there, which is fried stinky tofu and stinky tofu wontons. Okay, so we stopped here at our favorite stinky tofu vendor. So I know stinky tofu has a reputation for being stinky, very pungent, but actually it is something that is really tasty. And I think if you are coming to Taiwan, like push through the smell, give it a try, and Taiwanese people will love you for it. I just know I'm in for a really good meal when I can smell that from around the corner. I'm like, ooh, where is the stinky tofu? So fun fact, apparently stinky tofu came about hundreds of years ago when a tofu merchant accidentally left some tofu for too long and it fermented for a bit longer than it should, and then went to taste it and started selling it as a street food snack and found it was really delicious. So we've ordered 3 different types here. We've got deep fried stinky tofu, We have fried sticky tofu with a salted egg yolk sauce. And then also my favorite, which is deep fried, a crispy wonton with a stinky tofu filling on the inside. Crispy wontons with a stinky tofu filling is a good way to start. I mean, everything tastes good fried, right? So let's dig into it. Good. It's good. It still has that like a pungent aroma as you lift it into your mouth, but then you bite into it and it has quite a savoury, almost like fermented kind of taste. So like a little sour, but the sauce they serve it with sweet, and they have these nice sweet crunchy pickles that cuts through kind of like the fried aspect of that. So it all comes together really nicely. Often fried tofu is almost like a sponge for flavour, so I think the sauce they've served it with and those pickles has kind of penetrated the tofu, and as you bite into it, it is quite juicy as well. Okay, I'm gonna try the salted egg yolk one. You ready? Oh, that one's so good. That sauce is creamy. It's got that rich umami salted egg yolk through there. Almost like a mayo, like with very garlicky as well. I really like that one.
I love that one. Sometimes this version of it can be quite a little bit too garlicky, but
Overpowering.
yeah.
That's really good. Okay, and finally, we're gonna try the crispy wontons. So this final dish is a very interesting one for me and a very special one because growing up eating Mauritian food, we have a lot of different forms of wontons, and I've never seen them with stinky tofu on the inside. Having this for the first time kind of like blew my mind. I was like, whoa, that's a very different taste, a different way of having wontons. And they've also dusted it with a little curry powder there, so quite unusual for stinky tofu in Taiwan. You see that filling in there? It's like peppery vermicelli in there and chives as well. Pastry on the outside is super crispy. And then that curry powder, the warm kind of like flavors that I'm used to, really delicious. If you're unsure about trying stinky tofu for the first time, crispy wontons would be a great start. I think for me, this is probably one that is less overpowering, like the stinky tofu kind of sits in the background. Our next stop is here at a classic Taiwanese brocha, which basically translates to hot stir fry. And as you can see behind me, it's a place for people to come together, friends, share a beer, share a meal, share those classic Taiwanese stir-fried dishes like miso fish, kung pao squid, one of my favorites, Taiwanese party prawns. And I love seafood, especially when it's fresh. And here we get to pick basically from market to table. And I think my friends are in here, so let's go see them. Oh, hello, hello. Sorry we've kept you waiting for so long. Okay, yeah. Okay, we're gonna go pick a whole fish. Oh, there's not much here. There's usually a lot more. Must be Monday.
Barbecue.
Okay, I think we're gonna pick that one. I mean, that is the one on offer tonight. It's good. Okay, barbecued. Oh, barbecued. Okay, okay, good.
这里甜不辣，是咸酥的。
Fried.
Fried. 好吃，好吃。
Where he just said it's sea fish. He's not like describing what it is. I mean, it looks like a snapper of some sort to me. So. It's always so busy in here. It's quite loud, as you can tell. And what I love so much is that you can come up here and grab your own steamed rice and condiments. See here, there's like heaps of freshly steamed rice. And then we have different sauces here as well. So I think this was, what did we call it the other day? 5 spice? No, 5 flavored. It's really delicious. So the soy glaze with garlic in there as well. I quite like that one. And I always like to add a bit of chili to it. Maybe we'll just get some now. And you can go straight to the fridge as well and help yourself to a beer. You pay later on, obviously. Okay, I'm gonna take this to the table. I just asked for some Taiwanese veggies and seafood. Yeah. Yeah, no, go for it. Like, just wait. Like, start picking. Go for it. Yeah. Thanks, Eric. Thank you. Let's make some space. That's Hakka stuff. What's that for? Fried oyster. Might try a bit. Like the Taiwanese oyster, yeah. This is
I would definitely go do that.
I've actually never had this before, so try that one. Ready?
Try and get it.
Oh wow.
Oyster.
I've never had that. It's so good. I think Taiwanese just know how to cook their oysters. Oh yeah. Oh wow.
Oyster party.
This is the squid that we just picked from the front. So it's come out in the form of like Taiwanese fried chicken, but squid version instead. And as you can see here, it's like always a party here at Rou Fan.
I mean, with an asterisk or have a day spare.
So century egg basically means like 100-year-old egg, so it's been fermented, and this is what it looks like. And this is like a gongbao version, so it's fried and tossed in like a spicy, fiery, nutty sauce. Something I grew up eating, but I've never had it like this, and it's really delicious. And here's our fish that we picked out from the front, barbecued snapper. Should we do a bit of rearranging? I think we've over-ordered. And here we are at our final stop of this Taiwanese street food tour. I've eaten a lot of good food today, but of course there's always room for something sweet. I'm down here at Bean's Village for a classic Taiwanese dessert, tofu pudding. And like any Asian dessert, it kind of blurs the lines between sweet and savoury. And as you can see back here, there's a lot of different menu items, different variations of tofu pudding. What I love most about tofu pudding is that you can make it your own. So we're gonna head in, choose a different bunch of toppings, and get stuck in. The taro, the boba, and then maybe peanut, maybe? Or you said green bean for me?
No, I did.
All right, so what did I get? What's that? What's this thing here? Oh, that's the chewy taro. This is stewed taro. There's also green bean in my one. Yeah, and then there's a very lightly sweet kind of icy syrup on top, and the tofu pudding at the bottom. And then James you have, what did you order?
This is ice, basically, just like a plate of ice.
Shaved ice.
Yeah, which is a really common dessert also in Taiwan. I've got peanuts, some taro as well, basically the same as you actually, apart from these, and some taro balls. Yeah, like taro is a really popular, it's actually popular in lots of different foods here in Taiwan.
Yeah, and I think for people that don't know what taro is, it is like a root vegetable. It's naturally sweet, right? Like almost like sweet potato kind of like vibes.
Yeah, like I never had it before I moved to Taiwan, but it works really well in desserts. It has like a naturally sweet flavor to it as well.
And this is something that James and I will pretty much always, or like, it's a regular of our
Too often.
Always room for Taiwanese dessert, tofu pudding, ice. Yeah, should we give it a go? That's so good.
I feel like these ices are really good, especially in summer in Taiwan, because it gets extremely hot and humid. So having big bowls of ice like this is really refreshing.
Two of my favorite toppings on here are the stewed taro and these taro balls, which are like almost like a chewy glutinous texture. They're a little earthy. It kind of reminds me of using like sweet potato in brownies or like pumpkin pie. I want to try the peanuts. So James has added some peanuts to his, which it's quite unusual. It's like softened, like stewed peanuts.
They kind of like, they have another like quite famous thing in Taiwan, which is like peanut soup, which you can get in convenience stores everywhere, which is like a little can of peanuts and like peanut milk as well.
And then how they do it here is like a way that I've never tried before, but it's like...
How should you describe it? Stewed.
Like stewed, like they cook it down so that it becomes so soft where when you put it into your mouth, like it just kind of like, there's like a nut butter, like it melts in your mouth. And if you are in Taipei, make sure to come check these guys out. They've been open for about 60 years. There's always a line out the front as well, which means they know what they're doing. And if you see an Asian dessert like this in your hometown, make sure to check it out. You won't regret it. And there you have it. That's the end of my tasty street food tour through Taipei, where I showed you some of the best and some of my favorite street eats I found along the way whilst living here From danbing to oyster omelette to tofu pudding. Make sure to subscribe to see what tasty food I'll be cooking and eating next time. I don't feel as like full or sick as I thought I would be.
Don't speak too soon.